This is an external chamfering tool. I actually picked this up on eBay and it actually cost £7 delivered. You can actually get better quality ones than this, and if you are in the United States, a company called Uniburr does seem to make some better quality ones. However, for this demonstration, I'm just going to use this cheap one. There are a lot of instances where you're working on site where one of these would be very useful. As you can see, this one has a triangular shaft, so it is easy to grip that in any drill chuck. In order to use one of these, they do recommend that you wear a pair of gloves and a pair of safety glasses. I would also use a coolant or a lubricant when you're using this. That will ensure that you get the maximum amount of life from the bit. And also, you must always use one of these in a forwards direction and always on a slow speed. It does say in the instructions that you can use one of these on hardened steel. However, I'm pretty sure that if you did use that on hardened steel, you would take the edge off it straight away and render it useless. So I've got the drill in the lowest speed and it is going in a forwards or clockwise direction. A threaded bar can be a pain when you cut it. Often you can't get the nut started again. Just try that on there and it won't actually go on there at the moment. So if you look at the end of that, you can see that it is damaged slightly. I'm just going to spray a bit of cutting fluid on the end there. That'll get the maximum amount of life from the bit. And you can now see that that screws on there perfectly. I've then got a piece of M16 threaded bar. And there's no chance at all of getting the nut on there yet. I'll now try that again. And the nut goes on easily. It can also be used to remove burrs from copper pipe, etc. You can remove the external burrs very quickly indeed using one of these. A common problem on site is that we often get through bolts installed in concrete like that to hold down machines. And often we have to remove the machines because they need sending away. So we have to lift off the feet, and then when it comes back we have to put that back on, and quite a lot of the time these studs do get damaged. And that means that you can't actually get the nut back on in order to bolt it back down. So we're just going to see how effective this is. I'm just going to put some cutting paste on there. I'll switch to cutting paste because it's a bit less messy than the spray. I'll then just chamfer that. I'll then put that back on. And as you can see, the nut goes on there absolutely no problem at all. So for that kind of job, it is well worth having one of these in your toolbox. It can save you a massive amount of time. So I'm just going to try a small diameter stud. That's approximately 8mm. It's not actually metric, it is an imperial one. But we'll just try that. And that is the actual nut to go with it. So I'll just give that a bit of a smack on the end there. So that's damaged the end of it, so that we can't actually get the nut back on. That won't actually start anymore. Again, we'll put a bit of cutting paste on. That'll make the bit last a lot longer. And you can see by the speed of that, that is very soft steel. And after just a couple of seconds, you can get the nut on there. Absolutely no problem at all. Finally, the maximum size that we can use on this chamfering tool is 3/4 inch. So that is a 3/4 inch UNC bolt. There's just no chance at all of getting that started. It goes so far and then it goes very tight. And if we put that on there, that actually screws down there, absolutely no problem at all. Also try this socket head bolt, which is high tensile. Let's just give that a smack on the anvil at the back there. So that is now pretty much damaged at the end. And obviously we can't get the nut started on there. After a couple of seconds, you can quite easily start the nut. And you can see that there is very little wear on that so far. So like I said, this is a very cheap one. That was about £7 from eBay. You can get more expensive ones, which I assume will be better. So I think you'll agree that is a welcome addition to any toolbox, especially if you do a lot of installing of machines, etc., where there are studs sticking out of the floor. I will put a link in the description to the one that I bought. I hope you found this video useful. If you have and you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel.